Hello guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to add a button on an image using the Elementor free version. Now this is the result of the first method. Scrolling down, now this is the result of the second method. Let's get started. Now let's head over to our dashboard. Next, we're going to create a page for this tutorial. So create a new page. But I see this page, button page, button image. Set the template to be Elementor canvas, so you can have an empty Elementor page. Now publish this. Next, we are going to edit with Elementor. Now we have our empty Elementor page. Let's add our section. We choose a single section. We change the content width to full width. Now, if you look at our already done image, you see that there is a 2-column here. So we go back to our tutorial edit page. We add a new container. And this container, you change the content width to full width. And we are going to change the width of this container to 50. Let's leave it at 54. And this container here will contain our image. Then the second container, which we are going to duplicate, is going to contain our dummy text. You see our container is going the vertical way. We have to change this. We go to our first container, click on this, then we change the direction. So we change it into horizontal rules. Here we have two containers side by side. So before we edit the two containers, let's change the padding of the first container. We'll link the values. We'll give it a top padding of 5 and the bottom padding to 5. While the right padding, let's give it right padding of 4, left padding of 4 also. So let's go back to our image container. Now let's title this container so as not to get confused. Image container, and let's title this text. So before we edit our text container, let's reduce the padding to 45 or 44 rather, so that the width will be equal. Let's go back to adding our text widget. So just basically duplicate this dummy text. So let's go back to our image container. And this image container, this is our first method. So the first method is, rather than adding an image widget, we're going to use this container's background. We'll add an image in this container's background. So click on our container, we go to styles. So we go to our background type, we choose the classic. So that we can add our image. You choose your image, and this image selected for our tutorial. So let's use the same image. So you adjust the setting, you adjust the position to center. The repeats, we have no repeats, and the display size should be cover. We don't want the image to overshadow our button, so we have to add a background overlay. So let's classic. Our color type will be black. So our opacity should be 0.55. Now we already have our image set. Next, we are going to add our button. You can see our button is our top left. That's not where we want it to be. So we select our image container again. So next, we go to the layout. We justify the content to be center. We click on center, and here you have it. Our button is now at the center of our container. We head back to our button widget so that we can style it. We go to style, click the position to center, and for the typography, we adjust it to the font size of 20. Next, we go to the color. We change the color to purple. For our border type, we leave the border radius at 10. Then the padding, we unlink the values. Then the top should be 15, same as the bottom, 15. And for the right, we're going to give it the padding of 30, and the left same as 30. You just have to add for the border type, we'll leave it at solid so that we can add our border color white. Yes, this looks okay. And as you can see, we have added a button to our image. This is the first method for adding a button to your image. Now let's move to the second method. Second method, we create a single section. We adjust the padding, or that we can just copy the padding of the previous one. Let's copy the padding of the previous one, paste the style. The padding and everything the same. Then we add a container. change the content width to full width. We adjust the width to 54 like the previous one. Duplicate it. We also reduce the width to 44 here. It can be equal. So for the text, let's just copy this dummy text here. Copy it, paste it in this space. So go back to our image container, which is this. Now we're going to add an image widget. Let's change the resolution to medium large. Choose your image. Select the previous image we used. Now to add our button, we need to add another container. Let's add another container that's below the image. Change it to full width. And inside this container, we're going to add our button widget. Or rather, we can just copy this button widget. Let's copy this one we already made. Copy it. Let's paste it here. So now, what we're going to do next, we're going to select this button container. We'll go to advanced. I'm going to change the position of this container. Scroll down to position. We change it to absolute so that we can choose where this button will be. We need the horizontal orientation to be left, and for the vertical, we're not going to change anything in the offset. For the vertical orientation, we'll change it to down. Then we'll set the offset at 270. So you can see our button is at the middle of our image. Now you can see the image is quite bright. So we're going to change the brightness of this image. Go back to our image widget, go to the style. So go to the CSS filter. Yes, the CSS filter. We'll change the brightness to 42. I see it's a bit dark. You can also play with this saturation and hue. For the contrast, I'll leave it at 100. And for the saturation, let's play with it a bit. Let's leave it at 149. Let's see. Yeah, I like the color it gives. Now you can see our image is almost ready. Let's change the edges. I don't like the way the edges here are, so let's give it a border padding. Now we'll edit our image under the style. Scroll down to border type. Leave it at default. Just add a 10 pixel border radius. Now you can see the edges are no longer the way it was. It has a curved edges now. It's much better. You can also do the same with the previous step. You click on the container widget and you scroll down to border. Leave the border type at default. Just add a 10 pixel radius, border radius. And that's it, guys. You have successfully added a button on an image using the Elementor free version. Let me know in the comment section what method you'll be using. Would you like to use the background container, or you like to change the position of your button? Also, if you love to make your button pop just like this, I'll drop a link in the description of how I created this hover effect on button. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more Elementor tutorial, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Bye.